Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping, because you got to hold your breath for justice. To see justice before all face too bleak. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Y'all see, I just tried that out. The little screen thing. I learned the new feature, girl. I ain't even know what that was. But anyways, I'm coming through today on July the 8th, 2025. Girl, I am tired. Yo, girl, going to bed. um, it's been, oh, girl, it has been crazy. So I'm coming through to tell y'all about the visitation. But this is also why I am so tired. Like, girl. Well, it's not just that. It's because I'm trying to, oh, hold on. Before this go to ringing all loud in my video, do not disturb. And now put the sound volume. You can't put it on vibrate because it'll still ring loud. So it rings through my speaker. So I got it on silent, but you can't just put it on silent, girl. So let me turn the phone, the volume of the ringer all the way down. So hopefully we don't get no interruptions, but you never know. The minute I go to push a record, that's when everybody in the world needs to get in touch with me. The minute I stop, ain't nobody think about your girl. But anyways, so, visitation is why I'm tired, but it's kind of a combination of everything. Like I said, I am the OG prison wife, girl. I've been a prison wife for the last 23 plus years, 24 plus years if you want to count county jail, to a man that is wrongfully incarcerated in the state of Florida DOC. His name is Marcello Jackson. I got to start back promoting this petition for they shut this thing down. So I opened it in 2020, or was it 2021? But yeah, so if you don't get no traction, they'll shut you down. This is my second petition. I don't want that to happen. So if you have a couple seconds, check out my husband's petition. I do need to finish updating it because I never stop investigating his case. So when I learn new stuff, I update the petition in the description box. Whenever I do my description box, girl. But so not just being a prison wife, I wear many different hats. I am an artist. I am a caregiver to my sister. I have my own disabilities. I'm also a content creator. And girl, like I forgot, I'm still a graphic designer, though I ain't even been working on my graphic design freelance business, girl. Because I'm up here spending all my time trying to get my husband home. It's very hard to divide your life and do other things that you need to and want to do when all you can really do is fight for your loved one, right? It's hard to divide your time. But I'm trying my best, right? So it is very difficult to, when I got my 2 days off, I have to split it between family and everything else in the world, right? And family is always going to come first. And then it's time to go back to work. Like, my 2 days off are gone. So this is why I'm tired. So I got off on, this is my visitation vlog. I don't really remember what I called the little series when I was talking about visiting. The reason I started doing it is because I was visiting every weekend, and it's little things that when you try to hindsight tell a story, a lot of times you can't remember all the different details because you're telling from a long time ago. I've been a prison wife for a very long time, right? So there's over 23 years, how many times have I had visitation? You can just only imagine, girl. So if I was keeping like a diary vlog basically of our visitations. It's easier when I'm trying to tell stories to recall specific, way things really went, like with as much detail as possible. So, this was the first one since my husband was abruptly, girl, that word chokes me up because I don't know how to say it correctly, but I think I'm saying it right, right? Abruptly. It's hard to put that P and that T together like that, girl. But it cut off. I mean, I'm sorry, girl, I'm talking about something else. Abruptly, he was transferred, right? I'm talking about my videos abruptly cutting off because that's when I usually use that word. But no notice, no anything. He was transferred, and it was kind of surprising. But I did know that my husband does have about 10 to 11 more wrongful years to do. I did know he's not gonna really stay that close to home for 11 years. That's not even logical. So I knew by him being close, they're going to end up one day transferring him away. Like, he was at a close facility for like 6 years or so. This is when my mother passed, so he was able to be with me during that time. And I was thinking it'll be another 6 years. So if I deduct the 6 years, once they transfer him back up, wherever they do, away from home, what we'll have. Y'all hear it? How the heck? How in the jail is it doing this? Why is it doing this? See, it don't even make sense as to why. What else do see? It don't even make sense as to why. What else do I need to do? Girl, okay, let me disconnect my Bluetooth. Why does it do this? It's like, so no Bluetooth. So hopefully it won't ring through this. And then it's some darn spam number, some freaking number I don't recognize. Like, who the heck, who the jail is calling me? And for what? Girl. Hold on. Girl, that is so aggravating, but I don't know. Girl, that is so aggravating, but I don't know. It's just anything to destroy my content. I do have an enemy that is attacking to stop me from my content, which will then stop my husband's story being broken. The enemy wants to keep me bound as a prison wife, and the enemy also wants to keep him bound in prison wrongfully. So this is why, I mean, when I tell people this, they really think I'm crazy, but I no longer care. But there is an enemy that is trying to stop and silence me and not get this story broken. That is why it's been such an uphill battle. The moment I think that I have either reached somebody that would help me or I'm on to something that is going to break this story, I'm telling you, things out the woodwork happens. And it can't be that coincidental. It has to be something more powerful, more, that is holding this wrongful conviction in place, right? So I think it's more supernatural. I really don't think it's a natural human being that is doing this. It's too many things collectively keeping this where it is. In the moment that I am breaking through something, like constantly, so my content definitely is under attack. So it's going to be everything to hold me back. Girl, that rhyming, I wouldn't even try. Girl. But yeah. So I thought that this day would be off. And no, it's right upon us. Just the year that a little bit over a year, because our grandson was born in June. I believe when he was transferred, he was at the Central Florida Reception Center. I think when he was transferred there, our daughter was 8 to 9 months pregnant. So that part of that last semester, what you call it? It ain't no trimester, semester, girl. I'm all over the place. That last trimester, he was actually able to visit and see our daughter get to put his hand on her belly as our grandson kicks his hand. He did not have that with our granddaughter, um, because of distance and time. At that time, he was way up 7 hours away on the Florida, Georgia, Alabama line. Um, so that was special for him to be able to be um, with her during that time. And then he got to see our grandson like right away as soon as she was off of bed rest and able to bring him in to visitation. He did. So he's seen our grandson from being a little tiny, well, this a big boy. So he wasn't that little, but he was little. He was littler than he is now. He's a big fella. But from then, seeing him then all the way up into one. So now the visitations with our grandchildren is going to become, fewer now. So I wanted to still make the visitation happen because it was our grandson's first birthday. Um, I was going to bring him, it would have been only 2 days after his birthday, but I had forgot to put in the visitation. Of course, like literally, you cannot write this script more thicker than this. Of course, the week I forget to do visitation, and I had never forgotten it before, but I knew it could happen, is the week that they transfer him right after that. So we could have had our last visitation together, and it would have been for his birthday, but I dropped the ball. And so I was still trying, though they transfer him 2 hours and 18 minutes away from the house, I was still trying to make it happen. And it did happen. So, I pulled through. It was much harder than the usual visitation. So I work at a restaurant and I have 3 morning shifts, I have 2 closing shifts. It is very difficult on visitation day because it does sometimes, so my out time fluctuates. It's usually around midnight. I think this week it's even at 1 o'clock that we get off. By the time I get home, it's almost 2 in the morning. But I have visitation in the morning, so it's very difficult. I do get off, can't go to sleep because I'm pressing my content. I'm going through. Many times I was doing my late night chat and paint nights with you, video reviews and stuff like that. My last project, Reach the World, which was of Taylor House Publishing, those are done usually late at night because during the day I'm being spread thin between everything going on in the household that I can't do content unless it's late at night when everybody else is going to bed, right? So that came from late night sessions like that, painting and chatting and stuff. Well, I drew Taylor House Publishing, so drawing and chatting and stuff like that. So I didn't always go straight to sleep, but then I would have to get up. I would get up at 8:30. Marcella would call, "Hey, you getting up for Vizzo?" I drag myself out the bed. I barely can get up. Get our granddaughter ready. Always like having the most difficult time trying to find her shoes. She got 2 feet, but can only find one of each shoe. Girl, go figure. So that, and then finally getting myself together, jumping on the road and getting to visitation just as they're about to count, like barely making it, and sometimes getting caught in count. And then sometimes coming super early and still getting caught in count because they play over your time. Or they say they call, but they didn't hear the call, so he got caught in count or whatever. Like, girl. So it's already difficult, and he was close. But now he's further. So I got off of work, I think was 11:30. Got off at 11:30. I stopped to get me some gas because I didn't want to fool around with getting gas in the morning. So I filled up my car once I got off of work. I had started I wanted to look cute, but girl, that was mission. That wasn't going to happen. I at least washed my locks and conditioned my locks. And I have this little patch here that I braid. Y'all see it is going to bed. But I braid this little section and then the rest of my locks. I don't know. That's just something I started since my hair started growing out. So I have rebraided that part. I wanted to retwist my locks. I actually wanted to do like something different. I wanted to like basically come with the new image like when I go to see him, because you know that's the thing, you don't want them to always um know what you're gonna look like, you know what I mean? You want to keep it fresh. Me, I was a cosmetologist. I still hold a license, I still am, but can't practice because of my carpal tunnel and disabilities and stuff. But before, you didn't know who or what I was going to look like, because I was always able to flip my image and keep it fresh. And he's like, well, you look like this and now you look like this. And, you know, I used to love to do that. I still love to do that, but don't have the time, right? But I'm going to have to make the time. And then I do know, the more I notice in my life, the more you visit, the less time you have to prepare. So, like, say I'm only visiting once a month, girl, you gonna spend that whole weekend getting ready for visitation. But you can't do that if you're visiting each week, right? That would be you always only getting ready for visitation, right? So it changes. So when you know you're gonna see your man's like once a month, you're gonna look, you know, the best you can. So I wanted to color. I wanted my daughter to color my locks. I had washed it, conditioned it, and then I cleaned out my car, because y'all know I had that situation where I went to Viso and they was trying to wrongfully accuse me of having substances in my car, and they were trying to back me into searching my car, where I in my heart of hearts believe they were allegedly gonna put some stuffs in there, right? Because your girl ain't got nothing to do with no substances, but they were trying to set me up, allegedly, because my husband wrote a grievance on a sergeant. And his get back was when I came to visit my husband, and he was going to basically have me set up and then taken off to jail. Mind you, I graduated from college with my graphic design degree the week prior. What I look, and I was 39. Like, what the jail do I look like at 39 years old? Finally graduated. My old self finally graduated just to go to jail when I ain't got no record. So I'm gonna pick my late 30s to introduce myself into this system, girl. As much as I know about this system, girl, I'm trying to stay as far away from the system. God forbid I ever, but I'm not too far above, because it can happen to anybody, right? But the grace of God that it is not me behind those bars, thank God. And if you're not behind those bars, thank God, because it's not you being so good that why you're not behind the bars. You know how you take that sit up high and look down low? Just don't commit crimes. You shouldn't have dared watch your dad, and you wouldn't be in jail, being treated inhumanely. Yes, I know they don't have AC in Florida DOC, but you shouldn't have never dared watch your dad. Like all that BS. Girl, that is not me. It is the grace of God. And honestly, for you, if you're not imprisoned, it's the grace of God. Just give him some praise rather than looking down on those that are in prison. And as we're learning more about this system, you're realizing that innocent people are in prison, right? Aren't you realizing that through my channel, girl? Because if you ain't, that means my channel ain't doing nothing. I got to bring you some more wrongful conviction content then, if you ain't realized that yet. But for those that are wrongfully incarcerated, guess what? There's an equal and opposite. There's someone guilty that's out on the streets. There's always an equal and opposite. So if you got all these wrongfully convicted, you got wrongfully innocent people on the street, right? Because you have to have both. So, yeah. But what would I look like at that age trying to go on and carry my behind the jail? Like, literally. So both of my daughter's parents can be imprisoned. That's crazy. And wrongfully. How ironic. But there is a man, Mike Africa. Both his parents were wrongfully incarcerated. That's crazy. That is crazy. And I think he had other family members as well. They were activists and they were putting cases on them. His mother actually did 40 years in prison wrongfully. And his father, I don't remember how much he did. But yes, it does happen. But it's the grace of God that I'm not there. So I learned from that situation, clear your car out. That way, if they trying to pitch stuff in your car, you can always roll them windows up. Do not leave your doors unlocked when you get out. Because the thing was, me and basically the other prison wives, like, we would be putting on our track shoes. Like, no, there's a line up there, and there's no telling how long they're going to make us sit out here. So, girl, I'm racing you. We pulling up at the same time. Yeah, girl, I'm getting my track shoes on. I'm finna make it to and you gotta act like you ain't racing the person, because that could be the one thing that gets you caught and count. That one person, right? So, girl, I learned you can't be too anxious to get your tail up there in that line. You need to look around your car. What do you see around your car? Who do you see around your car? Is it people just sitting out there? Is it because supposedly there was an undercover officer? Is there people out there? Like, is there things around your car? Lock your doors. Let your windows all the way up. I know we in Florida and it's hot and you want to crack your little window. Girl, don't crack them windows all the way up. Clear your car out. Make it less easy for them to botch things up for you, right? So I cleaned out my car and I washed and conditioned my hair. I didn't get to color my hair. So I came as my regular self, girl, but I guess he gonna either love me how I am, or like that song I had, Love It or Leave It. Either you love it or you leave it. Now to me, it really don't make a difference. But if you gonna stay here, then let's be clear. All them silly lies and games, I ain't having that. Hey, you gonna pay some bills. Hey, you gonna keep a job. And if you gonna be with me, then you come home on time. Not 1 in the morning, not 2 in the morning. I mean, bring your tail home at a reasonable time. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac. So either you love it or you leave it, girl. It's not easy to be fighting all this stuff and then still looking cute in the same darn time. Like, for real. You gotta pick your battles, girl. One day when he come home, I could be cute every day, girl. But now that he's far, I could get myself together because it's gonna be about another month before I see him. So I could start planning my visitation, outfit and look and such like that, girl. Because we got a month to do so. But this visitation, I came as I was. I came right as I was. But at least my little locks were clean, And my outfit, I was hoping I had something visitation friendly. So by visiting before, when he was transferred from coming 7 hours up, I wasn't visiting that often. So it was the other challenge of what bra can I wear? Because, girl, if your bra go off, I've been through this too. They strip search your tail for the little wire, or you got too many little brackets in the back to snap your bra. They will strip search you, girl. Which pants? Because you know how pants, sometimes the capris had a little extra zipper, girl. I'ma leave that alone because that zipper on that might make the metal detector go off. And we ain't Remy Ma, we ain't walking around the metal detectors. Girl, if that metal detector go off, they can strip search you. If you refuse that strip search, they can terminate your visits with your loved one. That's happened to me too, girl. Little trinket things that be around your neckline, metal little stuff that's on your shirt, like adornments. It's sending that metal detector off, girl. So I kind of, by visiting each week, knew what clothes I could wear, underwear, all of that. So I just threw a whole bunch of clothes in the wash and was hoping that I could pick something out, girl. But a lot of times I would just wear my uniform to visitation because I was going straight to work from visitation, which I can't do that now because he's too far for that. But at least then I didn't have to worry about certain aspects. Because who look cute in a uniform anyway, like girl, and they would give you grace because they know it's a uniform and you must be going to work, right? So, and then I knew them uniform pants don't go off, right? Because they already fit baggy and weird and stuff like that, pleated all funny in the front. So I had to find some clothes, but thank God I was able to find something decent that made it through the visitation check, make sure that they're not saying you can't wear this, you can't wear that. I had before, when we were doing that video, my daughter kept calling because she was trying to get the notarized letter for my grandson and granddaughter to be able to visit with me. I had to have her leave the birth certificates out because you do have to bring your birth certificate. Any child, I believe, that's under 12. But call your facility and find out because, girl, they would tell you information and also still be extra prepared because they would tell you stuff on the phone. And then when you get to the facility, everybody's stuck on, like, I ain't gonna say stupid, but they be, oh, ain't nobody told you that. Who told you that? They ain't say that ain't how it worked. Like you'll be like, okay, so I'm just making up things in my mind, and they're gonna win. You're not gonna win, and you just want to make it as less, I don't know, challenging as possible. So I had all that prepared. My grandson, he does eat, but he still sometimes eat formula. And by me not really knowing how the food situation worked at this new location, like did they all? I didn't know if all of Florida DLC went to the vending machines at the same time, or was it little by little. So maybe possibly this location did not have vending machines. They still had a canteen. I don't know. So I'm like, dang, I'm going to have money on me, and I'm going to have my debit card, have money on my debit card, because either one, it could go either way. If I just came with my debit card, best believe they'll say, oh, we haven't turned over to the vending machine, so we're still doing canteen. And if I came with only cash, then they'll be saying, oh, no, we've turned over. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to plan for it, but you just got to plan for everything. As a prison wife, which is a lot of work. Girl, you see why I be busy all the time. So those things were done. So when I got home from work, I think after I got my gas, it was about midnight. So I wanted to I finished up braiding the little top of my head. And then I was like, I better go on and go to bed. Thank God my granddaughter was not up, because we would have been having a Peppa Pig-a-thon. Like, girl, she keep me up all. And then she likes this other one called Sheriff Labrador. I'm like, do you know you're opening wounds for your Sheriff Labrador? Girl. But we watched marathons of Sheriff Labrador and Peppa Pig. It would have been a Peppa Pig-a-thon, but my granddaughter was in the bed, so thank God. So I was able to, and I would have been up to 2 and 3, which I could not do because I gotta drive. So I creep in and hoping, she don't wake up, because she could have woke up just hearing me come in the door. I finished those braids, and then I said I better go to bed. I made myself go to bed because usually I would have been on my content and on other people's content and stuff like that. So I set my alarm. I set 1,000,001 alarms because your girl don't like to get up. I be so tired. I be going to bed. Like, for real. So my daughter had woke me up at 5:30, and that was to get the stuff for the babies, their clothes. I told her make sure that they clothes past the little wardrobe, because I'm not exactly sure the wardrobe, but just have them an extra set of clothes, have them this, have them that. So my grandson is on formula, but he also eats. So I was like, I better bring his formula, but it has to be unopened. So it's a can of formula that's not, the top isn't peeled off. Um, I had to have that, their birth certificate, the clear bag, wipes. You have to take the wipes out, put it in a clear bag. His pacifier has to be clear because he has another little pacifier, and this dude is not gonna act right without his pacifier. So I had to have his clear pacifier. It's a lot. Clear bottle. My granddaughter, I needed to make sure she had a sippy cup because I don't know the food situation there yet. Him and her had their clear sippy cups. It can't be like with the little Disney characters and stuff like that. It has to be clear. Everything clear. So I had that stuff. Well, she had that stuff out, and she woke me up to give me those things at 5. So I think I didn't go to sleep till almost 1 something. Got right back up by 5. Got my shower. Girl, trying to wake myself up, but barely could. And finally get ready. My granddaughter, she stayed with me, and my daughter drops my grandson off to her grandmother's house so that I'm not, with 2 babies at the same time, trying to get ready with both of them. Get ready with me for Bizzo, girl. I do got to do one of those. But yeah, so I got her ready, and then I had to go pick him up. By the time I got on the road, I think it was 7:30. And if it wasn't 7:30, it was 8 o'clock. It was close. I think it might have been in between, about 7:45, but my target time to leave was 7:30 because it was 2 hours and 18 minutes. That gives you 8:30, 9:30, and then with that extra 18, you're almost looking at the 10 o'clock hour, right? But I don't also do DLC count everywhere at the same time. I don't know, because the last place, it was noon was the count. So anywhere from 11:40 to noon, they could call count in between there, which really I knew once you see the canteen line in, that's when they're about to get ready to begin count. Girl, that rhyme one try. Girl. So not sure when they're gonna count, so I want to make it way prior to count. So I get on the road. I get my granddaughter in the car. She's still asleep. My grandson, he gets in the car. He's in his car seat. He is crying. So his great grandmother, made him a bottle. She was like, "You want me to make him a bottle? Cause this thing will cry wee, all the way to the penitentiary, girl." Yes. So I was like, "Yeah, give him a little bottle so he can, be quiet." And I'm listening to my content while I'm driving. I am tired as jail. I did have me a little sugar-free energy drink, which I ain't supposed to be having them things, but girl, I can't go to bed while I'm driving. So I'm listening to my people like Taylor House Publishing, listening to his latest videos and stuff. And 2 hours, I think I made it almost there. And then I had to use the restroom. So I knew that was going to be challenging. I honestly did not want to stop to use the restroom because I would lose time. And I know I got to get 2 babies out their car seats. Well, my granddaughter is 3. My grandson is 1. So I'm going to call them babies because they basically, So I got to get both out their car seat. He can't walk. And I don't want him sitting on the bathroom floor. So I got to put him in the stroller. Our granddaughter, she is sleepy. So I'm trying to get her up so that I can go in just so I can use the restroom. Change them, do whatever. Take them in the store where they begging. Well, he don't really beg yet, but she beg. Like, I need this, grandma, I want that. Can I get this? Can I get that? No, your grandmama ain't got no money like that. So you trying to make her put everything down, get back to the car. I lost about 15 minutes there using the restroom. But still got there in decent time. Okay, so he's at a place called Florida State Prison now. It is actually the maximum security prison. He's not on max time though. Come to find out, there is a facility that is across the street. It looks abandoned, but Martella say it's not. It's zero people there, and old, like let's say, what do you call them? Senior citizen inmates or incarcerated citizens that are housed there. And then there's a facility right behind the Max facility that he said that was abandoned and they just opened it up. And that's where they put him and this group that just transferred from the reception center. All of them, they're the first occupants since they just opened this up. So this is now called Florida State Prison West Unit. So it's a new unit. It's old, but new to being utilized. So that's how he was sent there, which was odd. So I don't see the West unit. So as I'm pulling up to the prison, I'm looking for different signage or something that is pointing me to the West unit. I don't see it. So I'm like, well, possibly you have to go through the front gate. And maybe the West unit is like kind of behind, you know, this part that's the Max prison. I don't know. I have no clue. So I go in, I get both kids out, walk them because I can't take the stroller in there. I don't know because before at the reception center they used to let strollers in. So I don't know if they do or don't. But you just don't even want to chance it. So I got my big old grandson on my hip. I got my granddaughter that wants to be picked up. So we're going through and this place, the front kind of is different. It's like, I guess because it is a max prison, it's that big sliding gate. You stand there, you got to wait for the first gate to close, wait for the next gate to open. You go through that, and it's almost like another set of gates there. And then you can walk up the stairs into the front door. So I get in, and it's people waiting. And I'm like, dang, it feels like we're getting close to that 11 o'clock hour, which I don't know when they count. So finally, because the lady, they chit-chatting, the guards that's supposed to be checking people in. So I'm like, dang, I'm going to get caught and count. And then there's somebody, as soon as I walked in, the lady that was sitting there stood up. Like, basically, she didn't want me to skip in front of her, which I wasn't trying to skip in front of her. I really just wanted to make my way inside the door to ask them, is this where you come for the West, unit visitation? So finally, they were checking in a visitor, which I didn't realize that with all that chit-chatting. So I asked her, do you know where the West unit is? And she's like, oh, if I'm not mistaken, you just keep up the road and it kind of curves around and it's behind this one. So it is behind that facility, but it has its own separate gate. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then I got to get the kids. I'm like, thank you. I'm like worried about being caught and count. So I make my way, first gate, second gate, well, down the stairs, first gate, second gate, out the gate, back to the car, and then put the kids back in their car seats, drive around the corner, and then, oh, here it is. This is the West unit. So I see it. I get out. It looks it's very small. The feeling is very like depressing. Like if and it's weird because all prisons have that depressing feeling to it, but some are more lively. Some are more like they almost feel like you're on the street together, and some just feel like, oh no, you in boot camp, baby. Like you're really locked up. Like you get that locked up feeling at these places. So the last place, the Central Florida Reception Center, they have the most, in the visitation area, it's the most beautifulest mural like ever, and it wraps the whole visitation area. Me, I'm an artist. And it's so weird. Colors invoke feelings in me. So certain colors like that puke brown and blue that they and gray that they use, it invokes incarceration, depression. It gives me those feelings, like, for real. Um, but that one was lively, the visiting room. So this one, it's a little gate. You go up to the front. There's no line because I guess a lot of people ain't driving way to jail out there to visit. That's how a lot of visiting places, are not as packed as others because who's really coming to them country backwoods? Like maybe once a month, but not every single week like that. So it was very small. I get to the gate and I hand the lady, um, I have my two grandchildren. I hand her their birth certificates and the notarized letter. So she takes it and she's like, "Oh, this letter." And I'm like, "Oh, what is she about to say?" She's like, "This letter has to be notarized." I'm like, "It is notarized? Like, is that not a notary step in my mind?" Like, but you always look for the worst to happen. The worst fear is driving that far out and then they don't let you visit, which happens very often. One lady came from England. She said, "I spent pounds to get here, not US dollars." And I'm like, okay. And they did not want to let her in, but finally they let her in. Thank God, because that's crazy. Coming from England and you can't visit. And it was where they told her certain stuff over the phone. And when she got there, it was something different. So she's like, "Oh, okay, I see it. I see it. It's notarized. Yeah, thank you. It's notarized." So then you have to take the pictures for the first time. I have to hold my grandson up for him to take his picture. Whenever you're first time visitor at any facility in DLC, you're gonna take pictures. This is why I guess they kind of hold up the line. So take the pictures, take the picture of my granddaughter, me, and then they do the fingerprints now each time you visit. I told y'all about that. That's a new update because it used to be once you were approved for visitation, you just were approved. But now they want to keep tabs on you. You ain't went and did nothing over the weekend and then you coming back up in here and now you got a record and you think you finna visit. No, you're not gonna be visiting. They keep track of your stuff, which for me, I had an identity theft and this person had things under my name. So if that ever comes up one day, then, that's kind of, I always kind of cringe a little bit when I have to scan my fingerprints. Like, did something else come up? Just gives me that feeling. So we do that, and they said wait at the gate, and then somebody will be coming to get you from the gate. Okay, that's different because at the other place they have you, and then this gate, the reception center, the gate swings out, but it's not motorized. You have to open it and you have to close it. They'll ask you, "Please shut the gate behind you." This one, I think it did open, but they come and open it for you. Some places, like Lake Correctional, it used to slide. And I got hit by that gate before, girl. Talking about they said that the camera blocked out and they didn't see me. That gate pushed me so hard. I'm so glad I didn't get pinned in that gate. But yeah, I got hit with that gate before, that sliding gate. So they have the ones that open and they're not automatic like that. So a lady comes out. My granddaughter's talking her ear off because anytime somebody call her cute, "Oh, you're so adorable," she loves that. She's here for it. So she's talking her ear off. But you can tell with the guards, like, who's kind of genuine. Even at the last camp, like, there was some tough lady officers, like, for real. And even them at the end, like, they really liked me, my husband, and our grandchildren because they're like, for me, most people see me and get the wrong impression of me. And then when they get to know me or get to not really know me, but you've interacted with me and you know that, hey, really, you're here following the rules. I don't have to, hound you and this and that. And things like that. And then you got Miss Princess smiling and playing with you and this and that. So they looked forward to that. Um, so even those tough guards were softening up with us visiting. But you can tell the demeanor of a guard, like kind of when you interact with them. And this lady officer seemed really, really nice. Now, Marcello does say, don't let that fool you. A lot of them are. And then there's one special officer. So I don't know. They said she was sick, so I hadn't seen her for a few weeks to a month. And I was like, well, whatever happened to her? Like, she remembered my name, and she was always so very nice. But they said she, kind of dealing with health battles. So I had been praying for her. And then I kind of dreamed that I seen her, and it was like, oh, I was asking about you. I'm glad to see that you're doing good. But they transferred him away, so I won't never know, how she's doing. But she was very much a sweetheart. The lady that would check us in, she was very much a sweetheart. Like, they had some good guards, like, for real. And they didn't make you feel all weird, like at visitation, like, oh, you're the scum that we're watching. It wasn't like that. And this lady guard, you could tell she had that same kind of demeanor. She was not like that. She was cool, whatever. So she's checking us in, the pat search. Like, even though I'm the OG prison wife, I have been pat searched a million and one times. I've even been strip searched, girl. Like, at that time of the month, like, literally. So I know how this go. But I had let them, kind of walk me through, because, there's no rhyme or reason to DOC. Like, people do it this way, people do it that way. So I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to spread my arms? Do you want me to do this? I let them give me direction. Some people come in, oh, I've done it. I know how to do this. I know. I'm not that type of person. Go ahead. Go for what you know. Like, what are we? But, not in violating wise. Then that's not going to happen. So, do a little quick pat search. I had to hold my grandson up so they could pat search him. My granddaughter, she know how to do little airplane arms so that they could do a little pat search of her, myself, and then we go in. Marcello was already sitting down there. Like I said, this facility is small, so we didn't have to go in, wait for him. There's one vending machine, which I guess because it was the third day of a 3-day, it was the third day of a 3-day visitation. There was hardly nothing in that machine. There was nothing. Our granddaughter likes the big AZ chicken sandwich. I mean, not chicken sandwich, burger, because they don't have the chicken sandwich is what we used to like at Lake CI, but they stopped that one, and they just had the big AZ burger. But they didn't have none of those. They liked the little pudding. Marcello and the kids would share. Like, sometimes they have the Oreo parfait or pudding or something. They would share that. They didn't have none of that. They didn't have hardly nothing. Like, it was literally nothing. It was only one machine of that fresh food, what they call fresh food. Remember when I said DLC, cash less is a cash out? That video. But yeah, them vending machines. So they had very little selection, and then they had one snack machine and one big drink machine, I think. So it's only 3 machines. It is only 4 long tables. So maybe 2 family groups can sit at each table in the inside. That's it. There was no painting on the wall. Only thing, there was a little welcome sign with the little butterfly, which was cute. Princess was like, oh, Grandma, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. But, the facility we were at, she loved to take the picture in front of SpongeBob. There was no picture man, so Me trying to get him that money for pictures. It wasn't a picture man anyway. Um, and there's nothing that's aesthetically pleasing except for the little welcome and the little butterflies, very small. But it was cute, girl. I'm gonna give props to an artist when it's due. It was cute, but it was small. Um, no toys. They had a couple of stacks of cards, playing cards, regular playing cards, and that's one of the things that Princess enjoyed with. So now that's over. Princess really enjoyed, like she would, their visitation with their granddad is kind of planned out. Oh, granddad, you want to build with me? She'd go grab the blocks and they'll build. They had dominoes, they'll build with the dominoes. They have the Jenga blocks, they'll build with the Jenga blocks. And then she's like, read me a book. He'll read her a book. She'll read, or she couldn't read, but she'll, so they couldn't do that. They used to even have coloring pages there. They would print out weekly coloring pages that the kids could. So at this facility, there is not a darn thing. Literally just a couple of stacks of playing cards, and that was it. So I'm like, wow, like. So Princess is like, I want to go outside. I want to go outside, Granddad. So Princess couldn't get what she wanted because they didn't really have nothing. So they had this little kit that had pepperoni, cheese blocks, and boiled eggs. Princess loves eggs, and she wanted the pepperoni. I was like, I'll eat the little cheese blocks. It was something, little pieces of chicken in there. So he warmed up the chicken and the pepperoni on a plate for her. I told him, don't you put them boiled eggs in that microwave. He's like, why? You ain't finna explode this little tiny place up like that with them boiled eggs. Girl, you cannot put that in there. So because I guess the boiled eggs were cold, Princess didn't really want that. She played over that. What did I have? I had a hot dog. There was a twin set of hot dogs. Marcella had the same, so it was really no variety. I had my trail mix where I pick out the M&Ms and give them to Miss Princess, and she asked Granddad to make a dinosaur with her. Like she makes shapes and stuff on the plate with the M&Ms. So then we go outside. So outside, there's really just two guards, a lady guard, a man guard. They both were really nice. They let you in the restroom. They weren't really patting you when you come out because you're like, I pat you when you came in. I'm not sure what you would, but some places are on it like that. No matter what, every 5 steps, they're going to have to pat search you. So she was like, look, I just pat search you coming in. So I had to take them to change their pampers and stuff like that. They had a nice little setup for the babies. It was a nice little changing table, old-fashioned changing table in there, but it was clean. The restaurant was clean and everything. So that was cool. I didn't feel uncomfortable having to use the restroom because sometimes that makes your comfort level go down and then it's not only me needing to use the restroom, I have 2 babies that I have to change and stuff like that. Sometimes you got to change them more than once, you know. So that was cool. And then Princess was like, she want to go outside. So the guard would stand in between the door, opening the door back and forth for you. And basically, I guess, watching the inside and watching the outside. At one point, there was nobody inside because it's very small anyway. So they allowed us to walk around the perimeter of the picnic area, which is made of cinder blocks. Some places have actual picnic tables. This one had the ones made of slabs of concrete. So that with that sciatica like that your butt be gone to bed like for real. So we went out there and she was like, well, be careful because they have had wasps there. They're still trying to clean it out because this place was abandoned, so they're still trying to get And it looks like some other units over there. Like, I don't know. They're just revamping these institutions and getting them back open because, like they say, they need space. Well, you can release my innocent husband if you need that much space, like for real. But so Princess likes to come out and run around, but she didn't have her gym shoes on. She had her sandals, so it was hard for her to kind of run, but they allowed her to run in the grass. Like her and her granddad, she likes to have him chase her, pick her up, swing her around. So they did not interfere at all with that. The last place, the lady was so adamant about that little patch of grass. Like the kids would be playing freeze tag and this and that, and she's like, no, stay off the grass. And then it changes one time where the kids can be on the grass, but the adults can't be on the grass. And then it's nobody's on the grass. So they didn't make no big deal about the kids being in the grass or whatever. Well, it was only two kids at this facility. So I left. Time kind of went fast or whatever. When we have the grandkids, we don't have much time to really talk. We're just trying to kind of give him time with the grandchild, and he's feeding our grandson and this and that, our granddaughter. The coolest thing for her was the little soda machine, how it drops because it's one of those soda machines where you see it pick up the soda and drop it. The other one was like one that it just drops it. So that was cool for her. That was the coolest thing of the day that she could, do, because there was nothing else there. And then he got to walk around our grandson, basically like holding his hands, trying to get him to stand on his feet and teaching him to walk. And then before you know it, they were telling us to come inside. And then before you know it, because they usually close the outside an hour or so before visitation ends, and then they closed and said last few minutes. They weren't horrible about it. Some people were like 5 minutes left, 2 minutes left, like they every 5 minutes, and then on the drop of the dime, like go, like they don't want you to get your kiss, your hug, or nothing. They weren't like that. They were kind of chill. They were actually treating people as though they were human, right? Um, so we left, we got out of there, and this is country. It is backwoods, but I did have enough gas, so I did not have to stop. Oh, and then the one thing I forgot, Marcello's like, how you made it this much before count, and I'm further away, and you used to struggle to make it before count, and I was right around the corner. Like, I don't know. I just knew I couldn't get this far and get stuck in count. So, yeah, made it happen. I was wishing there were more variety of food because he hadn't ate really in days, since he had been there. So I really wanted him to eat good, but it wasn't. It's hardly nothing. And then I put in my GPS once I got to the end of the road, like off the main road where off the road where the prison is to the main road, and that's when the GPS says it's gonna be a 2 hour and 40-some minute drive home. I'm like, why? Like, why all this added extra time? But I don't know how and why, but it didn't take me back the way that I came. It didn't put me on the highway. So I don't know if it was a shutdown of the highway or traffic, or was it accidents or what, but it felt like it took forever to get home. I think I did pull up at like 5:30, and I was so tired, but I didn't get to go to bed. I didn't even get to go to bed. I didn't go to bed until the next, after midnight, which was basically the next day. Then go figure, the next day, I took the kids, my niece, which was yesterday, took the kids, my niece, nephew, my grandson, my granddaughter, my sister, and my daughter. We all went to the theme park yesterday. Like, this is why I'm going to bed. And I work at a theme park. So we theme parking and then have to clock in at a theme park the next day. So yes, my body is tired. I barely got up for work this morning, but thank God I did. I got to see him. The kids got to see him. we didn't really get to celebrate our grandson's birthday, but I guess there'll be next year, and hopefully he'll be closer. I did find out why they transferred him. That's in the last video. So just scroll up, girl. Don't worry about the description box because one day I'm gonna get it together. But anyways, thank you for riding with your girl. And that's it. Hiss your girl, Cadillac.